of this, but you can summarize it. There wasn't,
Okay, yeah.
Introduce us again.
Yeah, sorry. For the recording, this is a weekly youth group webinar. It's April 10th, 2017. We've actually been going about 25 minutes and we forgot to press recording, so sorry about that. What we will quickly summarise, let's just jump into our other app for anybody who's watching it on the recording. So basically, you've got methods in the report control class to hide columns, but it was pointed out that we didn't have one for rows. So we've just quickly added a method called setRowVisible, and you pass it a true or false, the row ID of course, and it will optionally return you the status of has it done it or not. So for example here, we'll click on Lewis Lane, we've got record 008, click hide, and that's just a call to that, and she's gone, and you will have to type it back in again to bring it back, unhide, and she's back again. So that's what we've just done in 20 odd minutes. It was actually should have been a lot longer, a lot shorter than that, but we forgot to repopulate the control after the property was changed.
Right. So look how much time the people watching the recording have saved.
Yeah, we've just saved you 20 odd minutes, and by using the method, you should save even more time.
Exactly.
So what I was quickly going to mention was just a recap on report control. Again, these like little nuggets, gems of information. When we look at this here, if you was ever to go into just our class, then you've got a method of add row, set row selected, set row property, set row, get row, and so on, because we just consider these, they're your rows. So when you do an add row, you've got that, and we've got that, and so on and so forth. So all them are rows. And from the class point of view, continue to call them rows. But if you was to go into the CodeJoc help, now let's just go to this here, bear in mind okay, so here we can see is our rows, and CodeJoc also have a record. So when you technically add a row, what you're actually doing is adding a record which will create a row at the same time. But you could have it where it's grouped. So that is row number 1, 2, 3, and it happens to be record 1, 2, 3. Then if I was to group it, all of a sudden that is row number 1. That's row number 2, 3, 4. So the row basically is, they get out of sync. That's why they have the records collection. So our records are still the same records we added a minute ago. There must have been, I don't know, 15, 20 of them. They're still there. But now the rows, and these rows can be changed at runtime. So you can go, okay, group by that and group by that. So all of a sudden now you're starting to get a hierarchy in your rows. But of course the records have still got the same data, just presented differently. So that's the difference from the CodeJoc point of view between the rows and the records. And different objects have different properties. So you can't select a record, but you can select a row. So that one's selected, that one's selected, that one's selected. But you can't hide a row, you can hide a record. So you would hide that record, or that record, or that record by changing its visible. So that's the difference. So when you go into the CodeJoc help or a type-lib library, which I'm looking at here, then when I look at the record, that's my record that I'm going to be placing in there, and I can get to its properties. And if I look at the row, that's a row that you can click on visually, and that is its properties. So they're the difference between the two. Okay, so next we were saying about the children. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. So now last week, let's just go. Following on from last week, we did some. It's mainly to do with data binding. This isn't to do with this. This to do with data binding, but we started to query basically a records subproperty of child's, and that in itself is a collection. So if we have a look at this, no, sorry, it weren't that. It was this one. Then we could see, okay, we got the record and we manipulated some captions and so on. But then we added onto the parent object, so that happened to just be the record, the child's add. And we also then played about with, there's the property, the child's property for the particular parent row we're on. That will have a collection of records. Now you could do basically to get to the zero based, imagine it as an array, 0 being the first element, 1 and so on. So now that would get you the first record. So we want to play about with that. So what have we got in our class? From a child point of view, we have a row queue. It does have children property. So let's just have a look, because John, you might already have some of this in here. Okay, so when you add child row, I keep a total of how many children it's got in our own queue. But we shouldn't really need to do that. What we should be able to do, following our...
There's a get row child count. What is that based on? The row ID. That's good.
Yep. So that will bring you back the internal count. Now I wonder why I've done that, because what I should be able to do is go to the record, go to our childs, which brings you a records collection for the current record you're on. Just to get confusing. So we go to the records and we've got a count. So I could have just queried that one property and they both should give the same answer. In fact, to be fair, that would. I don't know whether, of course, they might have added this later. This has been around, CodeJock 11, we're on 17 now. So the properties might not have been available at one time, and that's why I did it myself. So, but
oh, okay. So
is any more get roll child count? So it's just children. So we don't actually do anything. So what it'd be nice is if just trying to think, how would you see it working? Pass it a row ID and it would return you a queue of, or populate a queue of children.
I don't know.
Okay. I could do that. If I'll populate that, let's pinch that. Selection queue, row ID and row object. That would be very powerful to give you that information back.
Yeah, it would, because then you could go through it and do something with it. It'd be nice to have like a delete all children, maybe. That might be a handy thing to have. Because there's a delete all rows, so there could be a delete all child rows.
Okay, so we've got a type structure there of children queue.
Anyway.
So what I'm thinking now is
you need the parent in there too, don't you?
No, you're going to pass it. You're going to pass it a row ID, and it will give you back all the children for that row.
In that queue.
In that queue.
Okay.
The only thing you might want it to be recursive. Yeah.
If you have children of children of children.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I could get quite messy, couldn't it? Let's build it for one, and then we'll see about expanding it in a minute. Okay. So from a quite large, this now. I can't remember if it's called think or get. Get selected. Tell you what, where is that other queue used? Selection queue. Oh, that just keeps itself synchronized at any one point. So as you, I don't know if you ever use that, but that basically, just let me run this so we can demonstrate what I mean. Obviously, within a list, you can select. So we've got one, and if you've got multi-select turned on, you can multi-select. Well, what you have got is also the selections queue. Just trying to see if I can find it. Grouping current selections there. So this is a queue defined locally, uses the type structure. So as I click around, you can see that it gets built up, and they should get built down. They should get cleared as well, actually. There. Need to look at that because that should be cleared. But
yeah.
So that's always kept in. Well, it should be always kept in sync. I could do the same for the children, but I don't know if that's going to be a bit of a. Would it slow it down? No, it shouldn't be. No, we could probably be the fastest way of doing it, and then you've just got a children queue which you can just query if you ever want to. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a children queue. Just a bit of prep work, which you always do on the classes. So I know that they've got the construct, the destruct, and there should be the init in a second. There we go. Okie dokie. List think row. No, that's just a list. We don't want to necessarily do that one. We'll call it think children, which don't need to take account of that one. Free up the queue, so we know that we've not on anything. We want to get the selected row. So we should have a get selected row if I remember rightly. I That seems we just want the last selected. Sorry about this. Per row ID. First of all, before we get going, we'll just have a quick look. Let's message out what we've got. These are two things that I have in the class for me to make use of, basically. Two hidden properties, if you will. And then throughout the actual class, we've got selection changed. We should be able to just call it, and by the time you interact with it, it will have brought itself into. It will be synchronized, ready for you to use. Okay. So what I'm expecting here, I've got the groundworks of it being called. As I click around the report control now, I'm just expecting a message. There we go. Yep. 18, 10. No, it's out of sync. It's being called before the current, so we can't use that current, unfortunately, that where we've got that. Current set there. Right, so we can't rely on that, so that's unfortunate. That's better. Just have to go off that one, and if it's a multi-select, yeah. So we'll just use the get selected. That's fine. Okay. Test for you now, John. You test me all the time.
Okay.
Okay. So how are we going to do it? Given the knowledge we've done last week and this week, I know that which row we're on now. and get rid of that. So we can get a row, and we want to find the children.
Okay. Well, the code I've got from last week is that childs.record0 thing. So, but you just put them all in a queue, didn't you? I mean, is that
no.
That's what we're going to fill up now. We got to fill them up now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you did touch on.
You did.
Yeah. We want to first of all want to get the record object of the row that we're on.
Right.
And then we'll query its children. Right.
And then when you just go from 0, 1, 2, 3 until you hit an error, right? Basically, and then.
Oh no, we can query their count as well. So
oh, that's right. Okay, you're right. All right. Forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep. So let's give ourselves an object to bring the item back into, so we can go OK. So we have a get row object. I'm sure we do. Equals self get row object, and from that you pass it a row ID. So the selected row ID is as good as any. And of course, as long as we have got an object to work with, then that's good. So then we would query the count. So we're going to go to that object. Now, if we remember rightly, yeah, there's the records. The child gives that, and we can get to the dot count of that. So it would be the child's dot count. So we've got our row that we're on. We've got our record, even though we've just called it a row object. We've got the object. In fact, oh no, to keep in line with the thing, we'll leave it at that. So we've got our object. We're now going to loop from that to the child. And then inside of there, better prepare our queue, I suppose. That is one I prepared earlier. Okay, so basically, this time we're going to go to the child's dot record. Oh, better get this right in a second. Take one off the counter.
Yep.
Yeah, that should do it. The child's. Gotta quickly cheat. Open last week's. I'm sure it was. Where we get to the record.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, you've got it here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here.
So the child's collection record, take one off it, but then we won't need the record. It'll just be the item, record ID, and the value. That should give us the actual ID. And that will just want to be that. Oh. That will give us the row object for that one particular item. should actually do it. What we'll do there is just okay. Let's try that.
Oops.
Children dot row object, not row ID, not just object. So it would be on here. Don't expect anything there. Don't expect anything there. Do expect something here. And according to that is record 4 and 5 and 6. Take it, that's 4, that's 5, and that's 6, but that does have a child of 7. So clicking on that, our row is now in sync. Sorry, our queue, our children queue is now in sync. So we've got 4, 5, and 6 in the queue. There, queue's empty. There, those records. And clicking on that one will give you 7. So the only thing would be, do we make it recursive? Which a bit torn about, actually.
So when you're clicking on the row, it's just filling up it's emptying the queue and then refilling it with.
Yeah. So it's your navigation.
That's what it's doing, right?
Yep. So that there's no children. That's no children. Going on to the next one, I expect to see 4, 5, and 6. And I get 4, 5, 6. Clicking on that, there's nothing, but that does have a child of itself, and that's 7. So basically, at the moment, it's only giving you your children. It's not including any grandchildren, great grandchildren, so on and so forth.
I think that's all right. I mean, let's not get too confusing, I guess.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I think that gives you more than we've had in the past anyway, and the other is if it started. I mean, it's very simple. For us to change that, we'll just put an optional parameter on to whether to do the 3 or not, and then get it to call for each row we find, get it to call itself. So it's really simple to do. I'm just not convinced it's the right thing to do at the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
leave it and see if there's a need, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's already an enhancement. So that's hopefully people find that useful. So you can go straight to have a look at your children, and that would work. That should work with data binding as well.
Now, can I pass it a row ID and get that queue filled? Is that I got to go back and look at that. What you just did.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that one, that's sync children. So that will just keep itself in. So now we want a quick method where you can just pass it a queue and it'll just return it you, populate it.
Or pass it up. Well, yeah. I could pass it a queue or use this one either way.
Well, the sync one, you couldn't really
keep that for syncing.
Yeah, that should really should keep itself in sync. So just because you are querying another row, the record, the user might not actually be on that row. So it would be better using this. That's a really good start. And let's just take that out. Put that temporarily there. Okay. I suppose it would be get row children. It's as good as any, is it not? So you'll pass it a row and pass it a queue. So, John, for this then, I'll see empty, get row children. Where's our other code? It will free your queue. It will query that to find, and then it should just be a matter of changing this. Okay. That could be it. Let's try that for you. Of course, it's a queue, so it's an LQ. But anyway, so we'll try this. Put a button on there for you. Oh. So it should just be a case of, well, we'll do the result. Report control get row children. It hasn't got it yet. LV selected row and our LQ children. I should really, we'll change the message in a minute to be local to that procedure rather than, oh, missed something out. Oh, now it's got a timer, then we'll move that message now. Okay, so to our tree, I click there with nothing. Click there, we should. We never actually told it was true. Four, 5, and 6, and on there, nothing. Okay, John. Another nice little enhancement there.
Yeah.
So just to quickly recap, apart from us adding the thing, all we did here now is define a local queue. Its base structure is the new children queue from the class, and basically you can call it return true if it can find the row that you've passed it, and it will have populated that queue if it's got data to populate it with, if it's got children.
Excellent. Yeah, looking good.
So makes it very simple. Still no questions. Very quite slow on the questions today. Any more on the children? Do you say about deleting children?
Yes, delete all children, because you have delete all rows. So I'm thinking maybe just delete all children and pass the parent GUID over to it. And just have it delete all those.
Now,
like if you wanted to repopulate the children or something. Of course, then you got the recursion maybe to look at that one too. That might be tricky.
Well, I think if you deleted, to keep the queues in sync, then yeah, it should do it recursively. So, yeah, let's have a quick look at the delete all rows. That's just a Yeah, you see, that's very easy. Right, okay. Let's take a look at that. First of all, let's keep the history up to date so I don't forget. No, okay. I'll temporarily do it. Oh no, put it in the right place. Delete all children. And this is one of the ones with the refresh on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think on this, it wants to work. Oops. Something like this. So I'll need a queue to work with. This will also need a row ID.
Right.
Oh, actually, I probably won't need the okay, so if that equals true, do we have a delete row? Huh? We don't have a delete row.
There's a delete row. There's got to be. It's
Oh, yeah, delete row.
Yeah, it's there. There it is.
Then a bit confused why it didn't actually finger them, but okay. And equals 0. We've not switched rows, so we don't have to do dependent buttons. Looks like that's it. Okay. Should we give that one out?
Yeah. Let's do it.
In fact, it's not, it's just straightforward. No matching prototype. What have we missed? Get row child. Oh. Q. Okay, so we know we've got some children. Try that one first. If I delete that. Yep, if I delete that. Okay. Touch wood, we're on a bit of a roll there.
Appears to work. That's awesome.
I'll just check one thing. Let's put that in the history as well. Yeah, it's on the delete row. Data binding, yeah, do that. Okay, so that should take care of the children as well and get rid of the entries. Yeah, fine. Okay, yeah, that's good. We have a question. Who's this?
It's Pete. He's leaving. He left, but he says, "Thanks, guys. It was a lot of magic for me again." He's liking the magic.
Oh, okay, very good. Very good. So I got all excited there that we had a question.
I know. But Roberto actually has a question, but I'm not going to ask it yet.
Okay.
He Skyped it to me. Because there's one more thing to do.
Oh, okay. What's that then?
The refresh thing.
Oh,
the populate.
Okay.
Yeah, where we can like default to having it false, I guess.
Okay. Now the
speed up adding rows and adding child rows.
So you can see here, and we've just it's on the delete, and it's on the thing, and we've got this optional parameter of refresh. Now, where is it? It'll be somewhere there.
Yes, and just for some background for anyone else is here, I was doing some tests adding rows, and if you add rows with the default, it's okay. But if you set that to false, then it zooms, and then you just do your populate at the very end. So, because what you're doing is a populate after every add, right?
Yeah.
If it just does the default like it is there. So, my thought was that a lot of people probably don't tack on the false to the end of their add rows. At least I wasn't. I think I have a lot of code that doesn't have the false at the end, and it's doing a lot of adding. And so I could speed up my entire program if there was just one setting I could put in that would kind of default that to be false, and then everything would be faster.
Yeah.
And it might be faster for others as well. So that's the thought process behind this whole thing.
And you can see what I've just done here on the delete all children. We take this parameter, and I'm using it there and saying, okay, if you've omitted it, or you've not omitted it and you've set it to true, then I will go and populate. So that if you've omitted it, I will go and do a populate. But when I came to actually deleting the rows, I didn't take that parameter and pass it on, even though that takes a refresh. I purposely set it to false because as I'm deleting the rows, I don't want it to go and repaint after each deletion. I just want it to go off, do the background processing, prepare the data how it wants to be prepared, and then hit it one display at the end, which is exactly what John was saying a minute ago with his ads. He's adding quite a few on his ads row, doesn't give it the optional parameter, so it would go and paint. So if you're adding 1,000 rows, you're doing 1,000 paints, whereas you could just add 1,000 rows and one paint at the end, and of course it's going to take so much less time because the screen
It makes
I/O.
a huge difference.
Yeah, the screen I/O is expensive. It's expensive in any language. Clarion is no different. Kojak's no different. So always try and minimize it. But the last thing we can do is just switch the default behavior, because we'll break everybody's app. If I say have it as default to don't populate, don't repaint, then of course we break everything.
Yeah, because people might not have put the populate at the end or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
you don't want to do that.
So what I want to do is, where's the standard simple? That'll do. What is this doing? Let's just prepare this. This is doing an add row with a false. So I must be doing a populate somewhere. No? Then it must be doing it at the end of there. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take that false off. And I'm also going to take off that populate. Now that should work, because the default is true. So we're going, hey presto, there's all our records. And if we did put a false back on there, just want to see if something else happens to be doing the populate for us. Brilliant, no records. They're there, yep. But we've not told it to repopulate. So what we want is for that to work without. Yeah, basically we want it to. Oh, no, that's not quite true. I know what I mean. Right, so let's introduce a new property. So it's going to be populate by default.
Okay.
Just trying to think. Populate by default. It'll be something that you'll be able to set. We're going to add a global template setting afterwards, but for now, we'll set it. This is a class, and it'll be set from some kind of global shortly. Okay, so we've got populate by default.
And the default on that would be true, right? Because that's the default behavior right now.
It will be by the time we add the template and so on.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will have to still keep it thingy, but I don't want to put a value on here. I want it to be. Actually, I suppose I could just do, and then have it take
that. It will behave exactly the way it's been behaving.
Yeah, although it's going to be set explicitly in the template anyway. So, but just in case anyone hand coded, then that be good. Okay, so we've got that. Do you know, this is crazy, but that's perfectly good. But I also have in my init where we set up all the things, and I much prefer to just have it there. I know it's balmy. One is exactly the same as the other, but
well, it's more readable, right? You got to go with readable sometimes.
Well, I just know it'll fall in line with the rest of the products.
Right.
So, should we call it populate or should we call it refresh by default? Everyone knows it as refresh.
Your choice. Either works for me.
refresh. And that should have been above there anyway. And that's only because it's replacing the normal one, the normal refresh. So now we'll go with the add row to start with, and then we just need to put it so all the others. So yeah. Still need to take account of people explicitly saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So if now I'm going to type it out long. So if emitted equals true and I think that's okay. If you've omitted it and the refresh is set to true, or you haven't omitted it and you've told it to go and refresh, then go and do that. No, we're just typing it out long, was it? weren't that much bigger. So a quick recompile of this should have us working. That hasn't got up on there, so there's our data, of course. And then if I was to initialize it to false,
But it should be blank.
I don't expect any rows. Ah, why?
I don't know. Shouldn't call populate, right?
Populate's not there. Emitted, and so I'm expecting true and a false.
Yeah.
Oh. Because we did it on the add child row.
Oh, well, that'll be a problem.
Oh, that was one of the things we had to do. So s dot add row. I should really call it by its name, shouldn't I? Really old-fashioned code, that.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
There you go.
I still see C6 compatible, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like to make sure. I'll say, so basically, what
Need to abandon C6. Need to let it go.
Do you know we still got quite a few users on C6?
That's not your problem.
It is when they
That's
don't
their
want,
problem.
when they don't want the products anymore because they can't use it with their products, their things, and kind of does make it my problem, unfortunately.
No, not just their problem. It's not your problem. Capesoft, they did it.
I know that. I thought it was a bold move.
It is a bold move. But she was, how old is C6? Like 14 years, something like that. Sometimes you just gotta let things go.
No, that refresh will just be passed on. So that's okay. Delete all blocks. Where's that refresh used? Oh, there it is. Look at the changes you're causing here.
It's good, believe me. Well, it's good for me. Should be good for a lot of people. I mean, with one switch, you should see your whole app improve. And if you load up a report control and it's blank, you know how to fix it, right? Just go populate it.
Yeah.
You could put a note in the template that says something like, you're responsible for populating it. This is false or something.
Crikey.
There's a lot of them. This is a good change, though. I think it's a really good change.
Well, if it's broken, then everyone can blame you.
You can blame me. It's fine. All right, so
No, this is a little different.
Raise your hand if you're using C6 or 6.3 or something. Just raise your hand so Andy knows that he needs to keep supporting it. See, I don't see any hands. There's no hands going on. You're good. Give people a couple weeks notice and drop it. I think it must just be hard to do the examples, right? Because you have to do them for the older version.
Oh, I have to run a
doesn't.
VirtualBox and then do it that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's doing something different, although it's still. Wow. Okay, I think that was the end of them. Okay, so we have a refresh and our change. Just pull that out the way there. And our change. That's just passed through, so I'm happy with that. There we go. What was that last one?
Delete block.
Oh, it's okay.
All right, so what does delete block do?
It's for the trackbar, for the blocks.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we can that's on that refresh. So we're saying if refresh, so if it's omitted and that's that. So that's a better. That can go. Yeah, that's better. Okay. It's going to reload. It shouldn't make a difference, but just going to do that. Now I'm hoping. Oh no, that's still got the old stuff in. That's still got populating. So I was kind of hoping that we'd have broke everything there. To that, initializing it to false. Okie dokie. Let's just do a couple of others. Filter, 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 filter. There you go, no data. Got our data, got our data. So for you, John, you're probably going to prime yours up to false and then just call your populate manually.
Yes.
Okay. So we do need a template option. And what I was thinking is go to the options somewhere, probably on here, and have it go from either populate. No, it'd be refresh. Refresh after.
We need a global template option.
Oh, well, we need a global option, and then the local can be set to that
override.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Then we need a multi-DLL template aware option. So I set it in the exe.
I need to do some planning of that, and then set a whole webinar aside just for that.
So maybe that'll be next week. We'll see how it goes.
So, okay, so what have we got here? Defaults. Here's one I prepared earlier. Data binding, we don't want that. But it can be, just. No, must be in there. Global defaults. Okie dokie. Yeah, it's in there. That's a bit of an overkill, that. Let's just put a tab in here. God, I don't even know what to call this. pinch one. Refresh after can't call it edit. You're the user. I'm thinking you're the user. What would you expect this to be? Refresh after.
Oh, it's after add, right? Well, it's not after add because it's after deleting and all sorts of things,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Change. After change. I don't know. Update, change.
Refresh.
Update.
Refresh display.
Okay. There you go.
Yes. After row change.
Yeah, because a change can be an update or a delete or an add or.
No. I will refresh. Manually. That's really only them two, and the other will be use this the global. Okie dokie. How does that look from a global point of view? Display, oh, tiny bit too far over, but yeah, that's okay. After row, God, some flicker on there, and that's just clarion.
Yeah, I've noticed that on there on the templates that it flashes a bit.
Yeah, it's not doing anything. I was just wondering. Yeah, it's not. You can do a when after and get it to go and do some actual things. It should be free as well. Just notice that's out of date. Won't be a second. Just fix another thing while I'm here. Sorry about that. Just fixed a. Okay. Still not sure about that prompt, if truth be known. We'll go with it, but still not quite sure. We'll get it working off that, and I'll put a disclaimer underneath it so people understand what it is. But that'd be more prudent.
Shouldn't it be after row change instead of rows change? I mean, it's
You can do a delete all, that sort of thing.
singular thing. Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Oh, is that? Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. I will put a tip on it afterwards, before release.
Okay.
So, now of course we want that to go elsewhere. Don't really matter with any of these. And I think I was going to put it on here on the options.
Or is that kind of restricted to an add and delete? Are there any other actions where that refresh kicks in?
Might just take a quick look in a minute. No, it's not that. It does go onto the options. I don't know if it's go on the rows. It's more of a general option. Yeah, more of a general option. Don't really need that. Okay. That will take the global default. And then last but not least would be init template settings. Okay. This is where we'll set the property right at the end. Refresh by default. In fact, just for code generation, okay. I think we're good to give that one out. So if that's a 0, you'll get a false. If it's a true, you'll get a true. And if it's a global default, then you'll get that.
Been evaluating that for a long time.
The what, sorry?
TextPad. You've been evaluating TextPad for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad form, actually, that. Simple. Let's go to that. And we can do our refresh by default. Of course, you could override it, but refresh by default is set to true. Because we primed it up on the global with a true.
Right. So nothing changes, but now you've got a global setting where you can change it everywhere with one switch. Perfect.
There you go. That's working, and the filter one should be working. And if I go and set this to, I can't get over the flicker. That seems worse.
It's hard to see on the webinar, but I know what you're talking about. I've noticed it too.
I don't know if the GoToMeeting's having an effect on it, but yeah. Brilliant. That's good.
Yeah.
It's not working, and the filter isn't working. But that one is, because it's still set to the order. And now, if we go to, not that, if we go to just the, we'll go with simple because I'm on it, and we'll override. So on the options, refresh display, yes.
Yeah, good.
So I've got my global turned off, but overriding just on that one. Simple's now working, filter's not.
Very cool.
Wow.
That was a lot of work today, huh?
Yeah, we started off really quiet. I thought people weren't going to show up, although everyone has been really quiet. But hopefully you've got stuff out of it and you've enjoyed, and you've seen some more enhancements. In fact, with that type of enhancements, I'm going to get a build out. Might not be tonight, I might do it tomorrow lunchtime, but I'll release at that. I'll do some tests and I'll really release at that.
Excellent.
So you say we had a question from Roberto.
Oh, Roberto, yeah. Yep, it might be in your Skype, but he says, Andy, were you able to hide the menu bar on full window MDI childs?
Oh, yes, I know what he's on about. No, not yet. Yes, basically, where are we? Let me close that and just bring in the command bar, and I'll show you what it is. But it needs. I need a subclass. It was a chat we was doing on the Skype group.
Oh yeah.
And basically, this isn't a disclaimer. It isn't a Noyantis problem. It's a Clarion menu bar keep basically bringing itself back into play when it shouldn't do.
Oh yeah.
Just to show you what this is. I'm not sure any of the windows have got maximize on there. Let's just take a quick look. Yeah. So this basically the Clarion menu bar is reinstated when it shouldn't be, because it shouldn't be there. I've destroyed it. You do that and it puts itself back there to paint these buttons. Now we do have in the Clarion, in the Noyantis class, a method call to hide the menu. Basically it does a, if memory serves, oh, it's not in there, no, but NYS common, there's a hide menu. No, that's a build. Nope. How about just do a search for hide menu? MDI control show hide Clarion menu. So basically, there is that method. And if I remember rightly, yeah, basically it destroys the Clarion menu. Because what you destroy it by, you basically set your set menu as 0, which basically means destroy the menu. So what I just need to do is, as you're going Windows and maximizing, if I detect that that's back there, I just need to be able to call that. So it's just triggering it accordingly. So that's all it is. It's very simple. The code's in there because the Clarion menu is still active. These are actually built. One of them is built, or that one's built off the Clarion menu. So it's there, gets hidden, gets destroyed, but I still know of all of its contents. And can interact with it. So as far as you as a developer is concerned, you carry on using the Clarion menu should you wish. But yeah, I just need to, if it ever gets reinstated, hide it again, if you will. So no, Roberto, no, not yet. But command bars is already, well, except for today, command bars is already getting quite a bit of work, so that will be in it. And that's that. I think we probably draws us to a close, is it not?
Yeah, a little early, but sure.
Are we a little early?
Just kidding.
I'm going to say. I was looking at the time and I was like, hang on a minute. So we've got some enhancements there today. Did I just do the... No, I need to do the update help on that. So I'll bring this up to date. And then I'll get a release out tomorrow. So 3.6, all being well, as long as it passed tests and so on. Oh no, there was a to-do left from last week on the data bind. So hang fire, actually. I'll fix that and then we'll get a 3.6 out.
Excellent.
So, okay, well, thank you everyone for attending and hopefully watching on Catch Up. And I will see you next week.
All right. Bye, everybody. Don't forget Wednesday, open webinar. Thursday, Net Talk. Friday, Clarion Live.
Clarion Live, yes. Okay. Cheers, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.